everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I am doing some watercolour postcards and I am using my new Copic Gasenfude pen. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, but I'm not hopeful. It's been a while since I bought these watercolour postcards and I haven't really done much with them. As you can probably remember if you've seen it, I showed these off in my art supply haul video. And I tried to do something little to test out, but I ended up screwing up that artwork royally and it's never going to see the light of day. I ended up putting, masking fluid on it, and for some reason it just stuck and it would not come off and it tore the piece, and I was so annoyed that I just put them away and didn't play with them again. But then as I was going through my stuff, I found them and I was like, you know, it's been a while, I think I'll give it another go. So I decided to do some simple little artworks with them. I ended up drawing a little feather, as you can see, using my new pen, and I tried to keep it simple but nice. As you can see, I am painting the backgrounds just very random and, you know, that watercolor wet on wet look. I love that look and it's so beautiful, and yeah, I just wanted to have a bit of fun with it. And here comes my favourite part, removing the tape. This tape was a little bit difficult to remove from this paper, but I just wanted to be super careful so I didn't ruin it. Before adding the tape to this artwork, I actually stuck them down on my pants just to try and remove some of that stickiness, and I find that helps a bit because if the tape is too sticky, it might tear your artwork. After I removed the tape, I painted over the lovely little feather with a bit of a gradient, so I did some pinks and some purples. I actually decided to do 3 little postcards in this video because I wanted to have a bit of variety. So after this one, I shall move on to the next artwork. Now, obviously some of the paint goes through the tape, so I decided to paint over it with a bit of white paint. I decided to experiment and see which one worked better, so I did gouache on this one. And here's the final piece. It's very cute and simple and I like it. My next artwork, I decided to do a bit of a leaf design. And I don't know, I really like these kinds of leaves. I don't know what they're called or anything, but it's very cool and I like the pattern of the veins on the leaf. I think they look really cute. After going over with my Copic Gasenfude pen, I decided to do the really small details in my 0.2 fine liner, just so I could have a little bit more control over the really thin details, like around the outside of the leaf and some of the really small veins. And of course I'm wetting the whole background first before I add in the colour, and this just helps give it a very soft wet on wet look. And I really wanted that as the background for these little paintings because it's very simple but it does look really nice, and it's a bit hard to control, but I actually really like that about watercolour. Sometimes you have to let the watercolour do its own thing. I decided to do pink for the background of this piece, and the leaf I'm going to paint yellow. I really think pink and yellow does look very nice together. They're both very warm colours, and I don't know, it kind of just adds a bit of like happiness to the piece. And after that tape was finally off, I painted over the little spillages of paint with acrylic paint this time. I'm using my Gasenfude acrylic paints, and I really like those because when they dry, it has a bit of a matte texture to it, so it's not like glossy like other paints. And now I'm just wetting over the leaf like I did before with the background, so that the texture is really nice and soft. And then I go in with my yellow paint and I kind of just spread it around and tip the artwork around just a little bit, just to try and get it to go everywhere. And then I added a little bit of orange to the bottom of the leaf. And here is the final design. I think it looks so cute, and yeah. For this design, I decided I wanted to do a flower because we have a feather and a leaf, and a flower kind of, I don't know, it kind of gives it all a bit of a theme. So we have like a bit of a nature theme in this little series or set of artworks. So I decided to do a rose, and there are a couple of petals falling. I guess I kind of thought about Beauty and the Beast while doing it, though this is not a Beauty and the Beast artwork. I just really like the idea of a rose and like 2 petals falling because it gives it a little bit more interest. And now we are wetting the background again, and I'm doing a bit of a bluey purple background for this piece. I really love playing with the wet on wet textures. I think it adds a bit of magic to the artwork because, I don't know, it's kind of really hard to get an effect like that in any other medium, and it just looks very neat. So after adding bits of blue and purple throughout the background, I let it dry completely, and I may have used a hairdryer some parts because at the moment it's very cold and wet here, so it takes very long for paint to dry, so I did use a hairdryer. And once I finally got all that tape off, I was being very careful and slow at that, I decided to paint the rose red. And as I said that, it kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, painting the roses red. But yeah, I painted the rose red. And then, of course, I had to paint the leaves and the stem green because that's the colour that they are. I really like the colour choices of purple and green together. I think that they look really nice together as well because they're both a secondary colour that has blue in them. So that's a bit of colour theory for you. You have to be very careful painting 2 colours next to each other because they can bleed together very easily. But I ended up getting it pretty nicely done, so I'm glad that the red didn't bleed into the green. And here is the final piece of the rose. And yeah, I am very happy with all 3 of these cute little drawings. Please let me know below what you think and which one's your favourite. So I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with your friends, etc, etc. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, which is in 3 days' time. Bye everyone!